Bleed out should be completely removed and slugging should become part of the game, not discouraged. Here's a quick Skull Merchant quality sketch you made. Man, that is already a very, very hot take. So I'm gonna go over the difference between slugging and hooking. This is a hot fucking take though. This is a really, really hot take. Okay, so the difference between slugging and hooking is when you are hooked, you are afforded a lot of forms of protection that you are not given by default when you are slugged. That's really the only difference between getting slugged and getting hooked. Getting slugged takes twice as long to die, so it's twice as boring in terms of duration. But other than that, really the only difference between getting slugged and getting hooked is the amount of protection the game gives you by default after getting unhooked. Obviously, you can run things like Soul Guard or We're Gonna Live Forever, Made for this. There's lots of ways to give you protection, but you have to run additional perks to give it that. But that's the main difference there. What is going on here? Please make it survivors were slugged for 90 seconds, get sent to a random hook, then the timer resets. That would make slugging a part of the game, allow players to use anti-tunnel reward killers for successful slugs, prevent slug abusing hooks. Huh. That's an interesting idea. I don't know that I hate that. I can think of a lot of scenarios where both sides get fucked over by that. Like a survivor goes to pick up at the 89th second and then they just fucking teleport somewhere else. Like that would kind of suck, but that's kind of an interesting idea, actually. So it's a way to limit, slugging to death, give a teleport prompt. Yeah, would a survivor ever willingly teleport to a hook, though? It's kind of an interesting idea, actually, if they have deliverance. I don't know. At the very least, I'd have to give this one a lot more thought. I think it's interesting. I think there's a couple of flaws with it, like certain times it would really fuck people over. But you know what? It's an interesting way to deal with it. It's probably more interesting than anything that Behavior has come up with in terms of trying to fix slugging. So I'm more inclined to like this idea than dislike it. So it's interesting. But I would have to think about that a lot. Because that's a huge fucking change that would require an entire video of like thinking about all the pros and cons. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting though, interesting.
Here's a quick Skull Merchant quality sketch you made.
Let's lean into that Skull Merchant sketch. So survivors are harassing the pickup and the killer is sad because they can't pick up. This can also be vice versa. The survivor is being sad because the killer is doing a slugging only build, if it be like a plague or a hillbilly. So one side is sad and they're abusing the fact that they are able to be slugged, if it be a boil over, if it be a plot twist power struggle, or if it just be a pure slugging build. Killer defends a slug for a set amount of time, so that'd be 90 seconds, or you, the survivor, get slugged by the killer for that 90 seconds, and the survivors may not have We're Gonna Live, might be overpressured, or you might just have everyone on the ground. Besides maybe that one survivor hiding in the very corner of the map, waiting for the 4K, or waiting for the one man out. So the killer is happy because after 90 seconds, you get sent straight to a hook, and the survivor's happy because they're no longer slugged, and then they have the opportunity themselves to use anti-tunnel perks. So I want to add on to this. This would help the worst case scenario. If you have a slugging Billy, as said, survivors now have a chance to fight back, and if you have survivors abusing, you can still play as killer and still play for hooks passively. So you can still get your pop, you can still get your barbecue, you can still get your perks to work, even if you're doing a slugging only build, or if the survivors are abusing a slugging effect. Now, what if killers leave survivors slugged? Now, time efficiency is a huge deal. Time efficiency is going to always be a deal for survivors. Trust me, in the background game that you're watching, this is a good example of time efficiency and survivors spending a good time working on the gens and trying to break my 3-gen. So time efficiency is never going to be on your hand. And this is only for extreme situations. So let's say you have a survivor who is dying on the ground and you have another survivor who is up and about and you're slugging for the 4K. You have one slugged, one up. Now that other survivor can just teleport to hook. If they're done on hook, great, the game ends. If they're not done on hook, maybe they get a chance to use deliverance, maybe they get a chance to 4%. Or maybe they just get a chance to just end the game and let the other survivor play for Hatch. These would be all really good changes. And to add on to this, in the background footage, as you can see, this doesn't even have to be remote hooks. They could add in the cages from 2v8 and have this be a special thing where if you don't like the idea of perks activating through slugs, and you know what, to a certain extent, I do agree, deliverance not activating would be fair, but in the same token, barbecue and pain res or not pain res, barbecue or pop maybe should not activate. So with the cages, it would just activate the base kit endurance, nothing more, nothing less. Now I want to quickly respond to some comments because there were actually a decent amount of comments. This person needs to be sorry. This person needs to be banned from DBD. Damn, true. There'd be absolutely no reason to hook if the slugs just teleport themselves. As said before, time efficiency is not going to be your friend. You're going to have to be fighting that 90 seconds, 70-second hook, 90 seconds, 70-second hook, 90 seconds, now they're dead. Time efficiency is never going to be your friend, and that's why just slugging on the ground is not going to ever be the right play. Now, maybe if you're doing a slugging only build with Surge Hillbilly, maybe this actually gears into, maybe it does actually work. Maybe it is your time efficiency, but this is a way better case scenario than survivors being slugged and then immediately the killer just wins at 5 gens because they had lethal and good game sense. And you got a really open map. You got like Cold Wind. The game doesn't end now. Now you have a chance to fight. You have a chance to use your perks, or at least you have a chance for a survivor to unhook you and potentially change the game for the better and potentially stealth away. There's no longer that just camp slugs, down, up, down, up, down, up. That makes sense though. Thank you. Thank you, Nowhere Seeker. Hey, let them cook. Hey. That's 2 people saying let them cook. Thank you, Seeker, and thank you, Rabbit. Thank you so much. And then send them to a hook in the boon. Yes, with this, that would be RNG. Yes, you could be sent to the survivor who has, will make it. You could be sent right next to the boon that could be Circle of Healing, or you could be sent in the corner of the map. That's the whole point of RNG. RNG is random, and this whole thing is just meant to be so the killer can't easily find you. It would probably work similar to cages, where it would just teleport to around the area where the cage is. Go for Pyramid Head. You have a teleport prompt. This probably would not work just because survivors giving the ability to teleport while slugging for the 4K, yes, this would be great. There's a lot of times where people are just gonna slug out themselves because they'd rather have the killer suffer than end the match. So this forces the survivors to go for the pickup no matter what. If that 90 seconds go, then they get a hook state. Maybe that survivor's on death hook and oh shit, 90 seconds now is very scary because they could die within that 90 seconds. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm hearing you. I mean, it could work like hook camping. It honestly could. If they wanted to change it as like a radius, as Foss might be suggesting, that could also possibly work. If you have the killer slugging within your radius, then you would be given the teleport option, or then you could be maybe possibly sent to a hook. This would have to be more of like you can teleport option, but if they added this would still be a great option for the survivors because then they would have that option of a 4-minute bleed out, or at least just send themselves to a hook. Great idea. While we're at it, if Jin is not regressed for 90 seconds, it should autocomplete. This is a massive self-report. I'm sorry, like, I don't understand. Do you think this is not a idea that buffs killers? Because your argument is, survivors OP, blah, 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 but this helps killers, but not just killers. This also helps both sides. This is supposed to encourage slugging, make slugging part of the game. I don't really understand your correlation to this. It's interesting. Thank you. We love randomness. I don't know, Zubat, if you're responding to me, but if you were, I love you. Thank you. I am skeptical. That is good. I am okay with my idea of being skeptical. I would love to see this be in a PTB. There's already the tools in the game. Dead by Daylight already has the programming for example, the first 2v8, when survivors get sent to the ground, that could be the animation that plays when survivors are sent to a random hook or sent to a cage, whatever the outcome may be. But this would be a great thing to test in a PTB. I would love to see Dead by Daylight experiment more with the PTBs like they had in the past. You might remember the one that Otts did, where Bubba got a 4K and then the game just ended. And while that was a massive meta shakeup that a lot of people didn't agree with, that did make slugging part of the game. And I love that. I would love to encourage these playstyles. If you're not going to encourage it, then it should be removed. but there's not a way to remove slugging without just having it automatically send people to hook. And that's my idea. Just have it send people to hook if they're slugged for too long. Make slugging part of the game. And I think this could be a really cool idea to test out in PTB. I've said it every time base kit anti-slug is mentioned. All you have to do is make it where picking up yourself instantly puts a hook state on you. This is pretty much that idea. If you get slugged for too long, you get a hook state on you. Now, yes, let's say maybe you were looking for after 90 seconds or so, you can pick up yourself where you are and then you get a hook state. That could also work as a nice little trade-off, but that would also allow the killer to camp that area and possibly farm you for 2 hook states. This is to help with that base kit BT. They could add base kit BT to this idea, or like a base kit we're gonna live. That could work, and that would in turn make slugging part of the game. And then lastly, Author Rabbit, what the cat said. Thank you. That's how I'm gonna end it. You have yourself a good one. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I had to show this in game chat. You're upset that I counter your deliverance?
Bruh.